So welcome back to our discussion on business history. In this video we will talk about the ancient and medieval world. So let's start with the ancient world first. So when we speak about the ancient world, we typically mean ancient Greece and ancient Rome. And ancient Greece and ancient Rome really didn't have a lot of industrialization. In fact, they were predominantly what we'd call an agrarian society. This is one of your vocabulary terms. Hopefully you can see me. And an agrarian society is one where the majority of businesses or economic activity has something to do with farming. Yes, it's true there were shops and merchants and military and all these other things going on, but it was all more or less supported by a large agricultural base. And it's kind of amazing when you think about it. The Colosseum, the Colossus at Rhodes, all these great wonders were built on the backs essentially of farmers. Now, ancient Greek philosophers typically thought that profit-seeking was something bad. It was not as noble of a motive as was looking towards, more noble values like faith or piety or saving or virtue. They actually thought that profit-seeking would lead to things like excess, corruption, and misery. And maybe some of you watched, that TV show Spartacus, for example. And when you think about it, the people that did have all that money, yeah, they did kind of live lives that were excessive, corrupt, and in many ways miserable. I always think about one luxury in the Roman Empire was sparrow tongue pie. So the idea was that you could waste all those sparrows and just eat the tongue in a pie. I mean, this is incredibly wasteful. So these people lacked the virtue of those that did not seek profit. I mean, another example, of course, is Plato, who talks about that these appetites, these insatiable, greedy appetites exist in everyone, but you could possibly restrain them by seeking inner virtue. And Aristotle, of course, talks about that you could seek some profit, and that was okay, as long as it was more or less a subsistence profit designed to help you acquire things that you basically needed. Marcus Aurelius, of course, thought that virtue was not achieved through profit, but was achieved through prayer. By praying enough, you could actually achieve this kind of virtue, and that was how you got inner peace, not necessarily capital or property. Now, one thing that I would encourage you to take a step back from in terms of these viewpoints, you have to think about why philosophers might have said this. Well, if people only think about money, the pursuit of wealth, and all that kind of stuff, yet they have no wealth, then they will probably be pretty miserable, right? So it's a way to more or less, I always thought, placate the masses. By telling people that money and the pursuit of wealth and excess are not good things, those who do not have the money, the wealth, and the excesses won't be nearly as unhappy. I mean, for example, you think about when a poor person sees a rich person flaunting their money, obviously that wouldn't make them too happy, right? It would make them feel miserable or sad in some way. So telling these people that no, the pursuit of wealth is an inferior motive, it can kind of help the masses feel better. And remember, the average person in the ancient world didn't have a lot. I mean, some of you might think of that movie 300, for example. Do you think that those guys in the 300 had a lot of possessions? No, I mean, they didn't even have shorts or pants. So this was a way of helping people pursue things other than wealth, because quite frankly there wasn't enough wealth to go around. Great. So in our next video we are going to talk about the medieval world. I'll see you then.